Thank you, Jamie. Okay, everybody, we're looking forward to a great program this morning, but first I'd like to introduce our breakfast sponsors, San Joaquin Valley Mortgage, Michelle Cooper and Kayleen Edwards. If you both like to come up and say a couple words. Thank you very much for that wonderful breakfast.
Hi, good morning, everybody. We are from San Joaquin Valley Mortgage. I'm Hannah.
I'm Kayleen.
And we have a new product to share with you guys. It is not out yet, but it will be coming soon. It is through CalHAFA. So is everybody familiar with CalHAFA? Okay, perfect. So it's through CalHAFA. It is a 10% forgivable second for low income borrowers. And so Kayleen will share some details on that.
So the difference between our regular CalHAFA and this new one is the second will be forgiven after 5 years of the borrower being in the home. It does have to be primary residence and 640 FICO. Minimum DTI is 45.
And we'll get more information on this as it rolls out. So we can share that with you guys as soon as we get it. And then also we're here for you guys for your conventional FHA, all the traditional loan products, and as well as hard money. So we do that as well. So please keep us in mind and thank you so much for having us.
Thank you very much, Shannon, Kayleen. Okay, next we have our basket sponsor, and that is Dina Whitworth from Build Right Home Inspections. Dina, can you come up and say a couple words?
Well, I had to do an Easter basket because of the time of year. So today's Easter basket winner will receive a $50 Amazon gift card and $50 off an inspection with us. So I hope you lucky person enjoys that. A little bit about Built Right. If you're not familiar with us, we've been around since 2006. We currently have 4 full-time inspection experts. We do have one that is bilingual, Spanish speaking. We have 2 inspection coordinators that can guide you through, just give them a call. And we offer additional services and benefits as well. And we have brand new brochures. I brought some with me. And even if you have a preferred vendor relationship with a home inspection company, consider us for one of the other benefit services, or we could be your alternate. It's getting busy. It's that time of year, spring and summer. So we'd love for you to give us a try. Thank you.
Okay, well, without further ado, let's get the slide. Anyway, we're going to look for Michelle Cooper. Michelle, come on up, San Joaquin Valley Mortgage, but she's going to be taught. She's also the chair of the diversity committee. So it's a great program. Thank you, Michelle.
Good morning, everyone. Nice to see so many faces today. So I want to introduce you our diversity committee. If you're on the committee, please stand. So you can see we have a great variety on our committee. And we still are looking for more committee members. So if you're interested, please give me a call. Love to talk to you about what we're trying to do this year and have you be a part of our team. So what I want to do next is I was going to do our mission statement. So to educate the members of the importance of equal opportunities in housing and recognizing that everyone has rights and responsibilities. Ensuring that our members are committed to providing and upholding equal professional services to all in the search for real property. So that's what we're about this year. Things have changed over the years, of course, meaning the committee has kind of changed. I don't know, some of us remember that it used to be that we had the art contest, and we had kindergarten all the way up through high school where they actually wrote, or the children did pictures, and then in high school they did essays, sorry. And so we would do that. We did that for many years, and then we had a carnival outside for them, and it was really a lot of fun. Then things kind of changed up a little bit, and we got involved with the city and the county of Kern and with the housing development. And we were helping people that were renters or needed help in learning how to be able to buy a home. And so we did that for a couple of years, and then kind of got a little quiet. Unfortunately, COVID happened. And so then, CAR and NAR came up more about diversity. And so this year, or we started last year, and we started working on what diversity looks like. So today we're going to share a little bit about that with you. And so the first speaker today we're going to have is Teresa. Come on up, Teresa. We're going to put a slide on for our little video.
So we do the video first?
Yeah. So, 1, 2, 3. My name is Jesus Rivera. Today's the 21st of April.
It's about 10 after 2 and I'm in my car.
So it's Richard Helling testing as Pat Browning on May 3rd.
Hello. Hi. My name is Kelvin too. How you doing? Yes, Kelvin. Yeah, me and my wife is looking to purchase a home within the Brentwood area.
They were ordinary Long Islanders.
Great.
You go get some water, okay?
And we sent them to meet with real estate agents to ask about buying their first home.
Nice to meet you. Thank you.
All good? Thank you. Thank you.
They were trained, confident, and followed scripts.
Tag in Stephen Macropolis as Nicholas Parisi.
They had no idea what houses agents would suggest, or even which communities.
We're not gonna like those schools.
But you don't want to go there. It's a mixed neighborhood.
Mixed neighborhood.
If agents are courteous and professional, how can you know that they're treating you equally compared with someone of a different race or ethnicity?
I have to say it without saying it, you know.
Behind smiles and handshakes, how do you know if they're giving you fewer options or suggesting different areas?
I'm not going to send you anything you want to get, unless you don't want to store your car to buy your crack.
Or that rules don't apply to you and another home buyer in the same way.
Yeah, oh, I definitely need that.
Long Island is one of America's most segregated suburbs. Newsday set out to discover what role real estate agents might play in keeping it that way, potentially affecting the quality of lives.
Technically, as a real estate agent, you shouldn't tell the buyers.
In house hunting, it's nearly impossible to see evidence of hidden discrimination. You would never know unless you go undercover.
How about that? Good morning. So I'm here to introduce the video. You already saw it. So I'll strongly recommend for you to watch the complete video. It's very important to see it. How many times have we said the wrong thing to a buyer with a good intention? How many times have we done a thing, with a good intention, but it's wrong for the buyer? Currently, the community is growing and its population is becoming more diverse than ever. So we have to be prepared to say the right thing and to do the right thing. We need to take care of fair housing laws. Thank you for coming.
That's eye-opening, huh? I think we've all kind of done one of those things, not intentionally, just we're busy and we're on the go. So we don't know if it's a rumor, we don't know if it's true, but they are out there and they are out actually doing these in different cities and different counties. And so just be careful. People say, oh, they're not going to come to Bakersfield. We don't know that. They could. I know in lending that people never thought when you were buying a home and you were buying it as a primary, and it wasn't a primary, you're buying it as an investment property, maybe for a parent or your sisters or, or whatever. You had good intentions, but the loan was done as a primary, and you were told that maybe somebody could knock on your front door, but you didn't know if they would. You probably thought they're not going to knock on the front door. Well, they actually do, and they do here in Bakersfield. I've had a couple of clients call me and say, hey, somebody came knocking on the door today and asked some questions. I did have somebody else that wasn't home, but the neighbor was fully able to give a lot of information out about that home. And unfortunately, in that call, that person received a letter in the mail to refinance that home within 30 days because it wasn't done as a primary residence. So, we always think, oh, that can't happen, it won't happen, but we never know. So we just need to be careful. So the next speaker is going to be Katie. She's going to come up and she's going to go over some do's and don'ts.
So they're really just suggestions. Basically, we can do and say whatever we want, but we're just trying to be more inclusive and kind community. Change isn't always easy, but it's exciting and it's fun. Just driving up here today, I saw the wheelchair ramp and I just smiled because I turned 62 this week. So I'm old enough to know the change that all had happened, you guys. And I remember, you know, businesses kind of complaining because it's cost them a lot of money to change out to wheelchair accessible, but how wonderful that is that happened. And so just to continue to be open to inclusive language, inclusivity in our thinking, and as realtors, when we took our oath and our pledge, one of them, which will probably end up being changed since it comes from the Bible, so I'm sure, you know, that's going to have to change at some point, but right now we are supposed to act in the spirit of the golden rule, which is to treat others like you want to be treated. And so I'm guilty of all this. I'm guilty of the thing. I mean, we've all think we're doing right. I was thrown a piece of paper this morning and I'm like, oh my gosh, I say that term, I use that term, you know, so we just have a lot to learn. And so this is not really do's and don'ts, it's just thoughts about maybe being more kind and careful. So they're asking us to kind of avoid, you know, the race and the gender and all that, and just use more inclusive language. So how that could look, instead of saying Jack and Jill and his and hers, you know, is just shared, like just simple words, shared. Instead of family room, in case it's a single person or whatever, you just call it a den. You know, it's like really way more simple than we think. I think the biggest controversy, well, I remember years ago learning at Watson, or maybe one of the meetings here, I can't remember. They talked about, I wish we had, is it anybody here in a wheelchair? I don't think so, but like, I'd love to know what their thoughts are, because we were told not to say walking distance to the park in our marketing. So we start saying like, so then it makes me wonder, can we say walk-in closet, you know? So I just put like spacious closet or whatever, you know, you guys can do what you want, of course, but so close to the park or near the park. Well, then I saw on this today that that's a cautious word. So maybe because we don't know what near and close means. So I don't know. It's confusing, but it's exciting to learn and change. I think the most controversial ones right now, which is the use of master, plantation, you know, things that kind of go back to thoughts of the enslaved. But so the term master bedroom actually started in advertising in the 1920s with Sears and Roebuck. And so it doesn't go back to that, but obviously in the 1920s, racism and segregation was still very blatant out there. And so the term that they used for the largest room, Sears used, was the term master. So as a female, I don't like it just because, you know, white men were over women and they enslaved people, not all white men, but I'm just saying the certain groups that enslaved others, they were owners and they were masters. So me personally, as a female, males were over women at one point. I just, sexism and racism, I just soon not use it. You can use it. It's not a term that gets flagged in the MLS. We have a whole list of terms that gets flagged in the MLS that you can ask Jamie for. A lot of them are just more like renters, tenant, which is really obvious, but some are like, you know, adult community. We're not supposed to really use that in 55 and older is even, you know. So anyway, just being more conscious and careful and inclusive is what we're kind of trying to be about. So any thoughts or questions? Yes. So yeah, so this is what's so funny, because on the terms that we were given, where did this come from, NAR or? So Fairhaven, I mean, fair housing. So they have unacceptable, cautious, and then acceptable. And under cautious, which this is what I'm saying, it's confusing and it's like, really kind of stuff at times. And here's one, the cautious is Mike near or close to. But 55 and older is also one of them, but it's cautious. So you still can use it. And I think it's more just like the HOAs and CCNRs that apply to a certain neighborhood is requiring that you are 55 and older. And so it's just a kinder way to describe it in a sense, instead of like, I don't know, I don't get that one, but I don't get it. So I'm going to still use it. You guys can use anything you want that's on the don'ts. We're just trying to keep everybody safe from being sued, but also to have a kinder community too, an inclusive community. So any other thoughts or questions?
I have a question. Are there any concerns that come from CAR specifically or NAR that say, don't use this term? Are there any hard and fast?
So this one that we got is probably from that, and master bedroom is still acceptable. And so I just personally don't want to use it just because of my growth and learning of what I want to do for my life. It has nothing to do with anything, totally fine to use. So they still say it's acceptable, and it's not in our MLS that gets flagged. So I don't know if you guys know, this is fairly new. When you are writing up your marketing remarks, there's flagged terms and words that will say, are you sure you want to use that? So you still can use it, but it's just giving us a way to think. Which is really, really cool. I mean, a lot of them you aren't going to do, one says heterosexuals only, like who does that, right? But maybe somebody does, but it's in there. So, I mean, there's some that obviously you wouldn't, but we're supposed to even avoid like near churches and synagogues and temples and things like that too. So it's just way to kind of just learn and grow and, know that we're not the only person in the world. So to be kinder community. Yes. Where can they get this one?
We're actually going to have them posted on the association website. So you'll be able to go there and find these.
Okay, anybody else? Thank you.
Okay, so the next subject we're going to do is, it's called Fairhaven. And I'm going to have Ali Sean come up and he's going to go over all that with you. And we're going to watch a short little video on this.
Hi, everyone. Yeah. So Jamie's going to play a video of just what the basics are of what Fairhaven is, and then I'll explain it a little bit more, and then why it's there and what we can do to help our community.
It has been more than 50 years since America passed the Fair Housing Act, but we have far more work to do to eliminate discrimination in real estate. Welcome to Fairhaven, a new fair housing learning experience from NAR. Fairhaven simulated scenarios will challenge you to confront bias in yourself, in clients, and in other real estate professionals. After your trip to Fairhaven, you'll see the world differently, and you'll be better prepared to tackle discrimination in real estate. Fairhaven, the next stop on your fair housing journey.
So NAR released this November 18th in 2020. It is now coming to on the arise of why we should be doing this. It's almost about a year and a half later, but basically it is basically a simulator that we all can go through as realtors through NAR, and it puts you in the perspective of the real estate agent and of the buyer, and it really makes you feel, okay, well, if I'm a buyer in one of these protective classes, what am I experiencing that we don't normally experience as a real estate agent? And it helps us really better understand how we can help our clients who are going through, who are a member of these protected classes. So a few of the, I actually just completed this myself, and I thought it was a little bit eye-opening because I thought that I was pretty well versed in diversity. And when I was answering some of these questions, I thought, this is the right answer, but there's not really a right or wrong. There's just a better way to be saying things as the years are progressing. So those of us as realtors sitting in this room or on Zoom, we are leaders in our community, and there are a lot of changes taking place. So what we can do to help members of the disability, of different races, individuals with language barriers, gender, sexual orientation, or several other biases is to educate ourselves on what is the correct language, the correct verbiage to be more inclusive to our clients. And as Katie mentioned, there's not really a right way or a wrong way, but we're trying to make a better effort and more initiative to get to being more inclusive just in general. Okay. So we come across all of these individuals every day. You might come across someone who is handicapped or someone who, is of a different gender or of a different sexual orientation. And it's just important for us to know how to talk to those individuals without being offensive, without having us being more ethical just in general and knowing what to say and how to say it. There's, like I said, there is not a wrong way, but we want to learn what is the way that they would like to be communicated to. And this is a way that we can do it is through this Fairhaven program. So through the diversity committee, we're actually doing a fun little thing. So we're going to do basically small office, medium office, and large office. We're trying to get more participation for this Fairhaven program. I don't know if we can send the link out to all of the members, but what we're going to do is all of those offices in those little sections, whether you're a small office, a medium office, or a large office, whoever has the most participation out of those offices is going to get a lunch catered by Luigi's. So a nice lunch for those of you who participated. It'll be an in-office lunch as a treat for you guys. We just want all of our members to be a little bit more educated in terms of inclusivity and diversity. And this is a great program that NAR has released. Does anyone have any questions on the Fairhaven program or how we can start making a change to be more inclusive for our clients? Yes. Thank you, Rhonda. Any other questions? No? Okay, well, thank you.
Okay, so I know there's a lot of information on a short period of time, but I'm gonna have Jeannie come up for just a quick second. She's just gonna kind of give you a little tidbit about the book, The Color of Law. She's read the book and she's gonna share a little bit about it. What we're gonna do today is I'm gonna raffle off a couple of books here for people that are in person, and then we're gonna do a couple of books for people that are on Zoom land. So Jeannie's gonna give you a little information.
Morning, everyone. When I was provided this book, and actually I have it on Audible, so I can listen to it in the car again if I need to, but this was so eye-opening. I couldn't stop thinking about it. It's like it just kept playing in my head and playing in my head. It's like, do you know why we do some of the things we do? Do you know in lending, some of you know, that we have to ask ethnicity on the front end when you're applying for a loan? Now, so to me, how long I've been in this business, I did not know that that was a requirement. Someone brought it to me, and so we've had some discussions, and this goes through CAR and NAR. And what I would like to see is that question be tacked onto prior to funding as opposed to the front end, because we know there's discrimination. The big buzzword right now is about appraisals. If you have a family of color that has family pictures on their hall wall, which most people do, that house likely will come in well undervalued that somebody else with their white family on the walls has seen. Now, frankly, we haven't seen that as much in our local community, but it's out there. So this book simply explains where this started and what we need to look at and what we need to address. Redlining. You've heard the term. Do you really know what it means? Redlining was where you could not sell a home to a Black couple on the other side of that red line. It had to be here. Well, in today's world, that seems a little odd, but that was the reality. Do you know that when fair housing first was proposed, NAR fought it? Did you know that? I didn't know that till a couple of years ago. I was like shocked because it has become so ingrained in our everyday lives that we want to be inclusive to people. It's like beyond our thought process. Really? Why would we have fought it? Well, there's a lot of things that have changed, hopefully for the better. But I'm here to tell you, this book was so demonstrative to me and so meaningful, I couldn't stop thinking about it. I encourage every one of you to read this book. It isn't going to take you weeks and months and years to read through it, but it's important. And then hand it to somebody else in your office and have them read it and let them hand it to somebody else. Sitting on your bookshelf just to show that you read it isn't going to help. We need this to go to everyone. I mean, I really would like to have seen more people in the meeting this morning because this needs to be a broader base initiative. And do I think we're going to get it changed so that that ethnicity is tagged on just prior to the docs? Not tomorrow, not the way our legislative cycle works. But why do they need it? How many of you read statistics every dang day, right? Home ownership rates in California, in today's escalating market, only 17% of people of color are able to afford the median house in California. Okay, so 17%, and you're like, wow, shocking. Where'd they get the statistic? From those same forms that we fight against. So there's a reason to have it, I understand that, but let's make it more inclusive on the front end so that you are colorblind to that program. I have a friend who sells real estate in Oakland, and she's the one that brought this to my attention. She said, do you know what I do? I have people apply online, and if they have an unusual first name or something that would be deemed ethnic centric, she said, I have them apply with their first initial and a middle name so that there's less opportunity for the lender to know what they look like. And I don't have them show up at the loan officer's office. Now that was shocking to me. On the other hand, she's in a practical way trying to overcome. And then if you're applying online, you don't have to fill that in. The loan officer will fill it in ultimately, but you don't have to do it on the front end. I'm just telling you, it's an issue and we all need to be part of it. So that's more than Michelle bargained for. All right. Thank you.
Okay, does everybody's business card in? Yeah, okay. I'm gonna make Jamie draw. Okay, the winners are Cecilia Juarez and Stephanie Crisco. All right, do you guys have any questions for any of us on our committee? Hopefully we gave you a little bit of information for what we're going to be doing this year. Hope you're kind of excited about it. If you'd like to be a part of our committee, we'd love to have you. Just give me a call. And I'm going to put this over to Greg.
Thanks, Michelle, and to the rest of your committee. Thank you all. Sure appreciate that. Jamie, did you have anything you wanted to add at all? Yeah. This is the MLS forum, and Jamie's in charge of the tech for the MLS, and that's why he's
And I'm happy to answer any questions if you have any questions on rules. I'm sure somebody in Zoom land would love to have the answer. Just a reminder, lock boxes, April 12th. So this weekend, go through your garages, try to find all those missing Supra, because that's the drop dead date. So if you want to swap it out for a new Century lockbox, remember April 12th. So tell everyone. Since I do have the mic, I'll kind of since I do have the mic, Bakersfield Realtor.com, that's the site you should bookmark for access to the MLS. I know a lot of people have been bookmarking other login places. What's going to happen in probably next week sometime, all those other sites get redirected to Bakersfield Realtor.com. So at the top right-hand corner, that's where you put your login and password. Log in, you'll land in our new dashboard. Has anyone hopefully played in there? So upcoming events will appear, depending on the size of your screen, that should be on the right-hand side. You can sign up for events like the MLS forum, and then you'll have another box that says all your upcoming events. So it's a really great way to track what's going on here and make sure you're signed up for it. Also, if you have any fees due, it'll appear there. We have another section of all upcoming hot topics. So that will constantly change. And I'm sure, if you take a look at it, you'll see a lot of new things there. And you can customize it. So on the upper right-hand corner, there's a little create icon, and then you can, all your favorite bookmarks on your browser, you can actually start grouping them and move them around towards the lower portion of that dashboard. So another place to play. Common whistleblowers that I've been receiving the last couple of weeks, photos. So hopefully everyone knows, for residential income 1 to 4 units, based on the entry date you enter your listing, we need a front photo or a note from the seller requesting they do not want to have a photo, and you'll send us a copy of that. So in the MLS, on the full detail in the upper right-hand corner, it says report possible violation. So that's where you want to click it, and I'll receive it and then I'll follow up on it. Does anyone have any questions on anything in the MLS, the different statuses? Yes, Judy, sure. Yes, and that was done on purpose. We originally, when we first, and it's not the dashboard, it's actually our homepage. Yes, so we originally did it random. And the problem is, when we did it random, we had, unfortunately, a lot of rundown homes on there. Yeah, so that kind of triggered it, just showed the upper end ones. And that was done on purpose. Yeah. But we did try to do it random, and it just, got. Right. And maybe that could be something we could address, price range. So yeah, I'll take that back for discussion. Any other questions? Any questions on coming soon? Active under contract, active, any of the definitions? The SCLM, seller exclude listing? No? All right. Derek, do you have anything for anyone? No? All right, back to you, Greg. Thank you.
All right. Okay, great. Well, Jamie, thank you very much. Thank you all for coming, by the way. We have a program coming up for next month. It's going to be May. Somebody help me. I just was talking to Tim about it a minute ago. First Thursday of every month, we're going to be here at the board and also in Zoom land. So mark your calendars. So it's a permanent thing. They were dark in July and dark in December is all. So we'll have another great program set up for next month. Thank you, May 5th. So plan on either being here in person. We're getting more people. We have breakfast sponsors today. Thank you very much, Hannah, Kayleen. So if you want to have a breakfast and enjoy a good topic and learn something, I did today for sure. I hadn't expected to get as much information as I did. So anyway, thank you again for coming. I think we're going to wrap up our program, and that's great. So we can all get on with our day and go get some listings and get some buyers. Thank you all very much.